MLS is having a great 2025 summer transfer window, and they're finally getting something right. Now, in 2007, they signed David Beckham to try to help bring credibility, global recognition, try to bring an appeal to Major League Soccer to get more people to watch it in the United States and globally. And then they signed a lot of other stars afterwards to try to pile on, multiply this, get as much interest as they possibly could in the league. Well, after 10 years, 11 years of doing that, they switched to a new model where they signed younger players, more unknown players who are in their prime to try to change the perception of the league to where it's not a retirement league, try to up the quality of the league, and thinking that this was going to be the method that helped push them forward to be a more popular league. But MLS wasn't quite there yet. They didn't have the enough casual fans, casual audience to where people were going to tune in to watch unknown players and learn them. So they had been doing this the last 7-8 years with a sprinkle of, hey, if you're enjoying the video, make sure you give it a like down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Our goal is to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year. And with your help, I know we will reach that goal. So make sure you subscribe if you haven't already and hit that little bell notification so you never miss any of our videos. Now, back to the video. Some bigger names like Zlatan Ibrahimovic. They had David Villa, who played until 2018. There were some names in this league, but they try to ditch the retirement league narrative, the retirement league tag, and they signed all these young players. But this summer, and in 2023, they signed Messi, which obviously there's no bigger name than him. But this summer, they've signed 3 big names. This is the biggest summer we've seen of them signing big names to try to appeal to a broader audience, to try to get people to tune in and see MLS. And also, like, they're doing a mixture, like I said, where they're still signing the young players, but they're bringing the names to get these people to stick around and just to check it out, which is huge. And there's no bigger signing than they made this summer than Son Heung-min. Son Heung-min is a Tottenham legend, obviously, played in the Premier League for 10 years. He is a Korean icon. He is the most popular player in Asia, and they signed him in LA with LAFC. There could not be a better pairing than Son Heung-min at LAFC. And he has the second fastest selling jersey in the history of the league, only second to Lionel Messi. There are going to be a plethora of new fans in Major League Soccer, or at least watching LAFC from South Korea, all over Asia, and probably even some Tottenham fans are going to check in to see how their former legend is playing in America. This is important too because of the World Cup in 2026, having a player who's going to be a big figure in the World Cup, playing on your home soil, playing in your domestic league, and then you can sell him when he plays in 2026. But getting a player like him who would have probably never entertained coming to Major League Soccer 10 years ago, especially at the age of 33. And LAFC spent a pretty hefty price tag to get him. They spent $27 million to get Son Heung-min, and he is the most expensive transfer in Major League Soccer history. And getting players like that just helps bring some credibility because of the age, because he's an icon, because he's not washed. Now, I mentioned earlier about some of the players that Major League Soccer brought in, big name players, the Steven Gerrards, the Frank Lampards, the Andrea Pirlos. While those players' profiles may be bigger and they were probably better in their prime, these are players who were washed when they came here. They were washed. They were not good. They were shelved them from their former self. Son Heung-min is still a good player. He still has a lot to offer. So you're getting a big name who is still good, is in a market that's going to explode, and also, too, with the World Cup appeal, being able to sell him in your league. This is the model. This is one of the 3 guys we're going to talk about. This is the way it's supposed to be. And now if they sign a young player on their team, they're going to get attention brought to them because of the profile player they have. People could watch an LAFC match and see an unknown player, discover them. This happened with Messi at Inter Miami. Diego Gomez was from Paraguay, and he went to Inter Miami. No one really knew who he was. And because who he was playing next to, it gave him a brighter spotlight. And then he ended up getting a move to Brighton 1 year later for 15 million euros. So this is a key way to get attention to some of your unknown players. raise their profile by having a big name that people will tune in to see and catch these other players while they're watching the main guy. So Son Heung-min is number one on my list of why this has been a great summer transfer window. Absolutely huge signing. Number one, MLS record transfer fee. Couldn't be in a better market. Can't wait to see what he will do. Number two is Rodrigo De Paul. Rodrigo De Paul, a lot of controversy when I said he's a top 15 box to box number 8 in the world, because there's a lot of people that disagreed with that, and I think they disagreed with that because he was going to Inter Miami. And there's a stigma that if you come to MLS that you're washed, you're not good, your better days are behind you, and that might be true in a lot of cases, but he's still a good player. He will be a starter for Argentina in 2026 in the World Cup. And that's why it's such an important sign to me. That's why it's a big deal. Now, he is joining Inter Miami and Messi. There's no bigger star than Messi. If you weren't watching Inter Miami already, you're not going to be watching them because of Rodrigo De Paul, right? If you weren't watching Messi, you're not going to be watching Rodrigo De Paul. But it's the profile of the signing. He's 31 years old. He just turned 31 years old. Inter Miami have him on loan for the rest of the season, but his transfer fee is going to probably be around $17 million. And it's the quality of player. We're talking about a top 15 8 in the world. And he's coming to Major League Soccer at 31 years old. And they're paying a hefty fee to get him. That is why it's a big deal. Having two starters on the Argentine national team, the reigning World Cup champions, playing in Inter Miami, playing in Major League Soccer is a big deal. And when they play at the 2026 World Cup, that's going to be talked about. Two of the starters play. Now, Messi could play for anybody he would start, but still, they play for Inter Miami. They play in Major League Soccer. When they play at the World Cup, it's going to be good for Major League Soccer when they say, yes, Rodrigo De Paul, Lionel Messi, Inter Miami, they play in Major League Soccer. It helps give the league credibility. And also, having a player of his quality in the league is good for other players. Iron sharpens iron. Having players play against him, having players play with him is good. There hasn't really been a player at this level come to the league at this age, at his position. That doesn't happen. This is the first time it's happened. There has not been a player, the number 8, that come to Major League Soccer at 31 years old of his quality. He played for a top 10 club in the world at Atletico Madrid, and people will disagree with that too, but I think they're a top 10 club in the world. And he plays for the best national team, or arguably top 3 national team in the world as a starter. I think anyone who's disagreeing with Rodrigo De Paul being a top 15, number 8, or even maybe top 20, statistically he is. This is an incredible signing for MLS, and it's not a retirement signing because he's only 31. He just turned 31 years old. He just turned 31. He's going to play for probably 3 or 4 more years. So is Messi, apparently. So I think they're like linked together. They'll play here together. However many years Messi plays here, Rodrigo De Paul will probably play the same. So having a player like him in Major League Soccer is a great thing, and it helps the league. Now, the third guy, maybe the least exciting of the 3, not because he's not as good as in his prime, just because the age and maybe the market he's going to, right? It doesn't have as much shine or gleam as these other 2 markets, right? It's Thomas Müller. Now, Thomas Müller is one of the best players in German national team history, one of the best players in the Bundesliga history, one of the best players in Bayern Munich history, okay? He is 36 years old. His better days are behind him, but I still think he has quality. He is a name. And the reason why this one is important to me, and it is a big deal, now maybe if he went to like a Cincinnati, or if he went to one of the New York teams, or if he went to an LA team, maybe it wouldn't be a big deal or as big of a deal, but it's the fact of where he went. He went to Vancouver. He went to the Whitecaps. He is the Whitecaps, the biggest signing in Whitecaps history, and there's really not even a close second. That is why it's a big deal. You're bringing a Bayern Munich German national team legend to Vancouver, Canada, and a team that was already playing really well in the beginning of the season, and a team that's for sale. That is why it's cool. I talk about this all the time. Spreading the wealth in Major League Soccer with these big names. Like don't just have one team with all the big names. Spread it out. Give people a reason to want to watch other games. Give a casual fan a reason to want to watch LAFC. Give a casual fan a reason to want to watch Vancouver or New York City FC. That is why that's a big deal to me. And I don't know how much he has left in the tank. I would assume he at least has a good year and a half left of being a pretty good player. Not what he was, but pretty good. But it's just important he went to Vancouver. And I'm excited because I think he's going to help that club a lot. I think he's going to help that club a lot. And they might be a contender. It'll be fun to watch him play. Are there going to be German fans that are going to be Vancouver Whitecap fans now? I don't know. Probably not as many as what Son's going to bring LAFC or what Messi brought Inter. Definitely not as many as Son brought to LAFC, and definitely not as many as what Messi brought to Inter Miami. But I think that he could help the club raise its status, and it's obviously good for the team. I want to see more teams who are not considered big markets sign big names, or at least one. And hopefully this is a trend we continue to see. Hopefully this is a trend we continue to see. And there's another big name who will likely come here, I would say maybe in the winter time or maybe next summer, and it's Neymar. I'll be curious to see where he goes or who he signs with, but hopefully he doesn't sign with just Inter Miami or a team that's already got a star. We need to spread it out. Maybe Chicago, that was rumored at one time. Really disappointed that Chicago wasn't able to land Kevin De Bruyne, because that would have just been that would have been the cherry on top. That would have been incredible to have gotten these three guys and also Kevin De Bruyne in Chicago. It would have been absolutely incredible. But this is already not Messi's the biggest signing in history, but this is the best window, in my opinion, because they had three high quality players, three big names come to the league at one time. I think if we're talking about from a league perspective, like teams, this is probably the best transfer window, especially name-wise. So hopefully we see more of this. This is a good trend. I'm glad that they're doing the combo, because it's always somewhere in the middle. It's never one extreme or the other. It's not sign all the old guys, sign all young guys. Sometimes it's somewhere in the middle. So I'm glad that they're changing their philosophy. They're doing a mixture. This is going to be what's best for the league. We'll see what other signings they make, because it's going to be, I think the next year is going to be crazy for Major League Soccer. There's going to be more to come, and I'm excited to see what happens. Let me know what you guys think. Who is your biggest signing this summer in Major League Soccer? And who do you want to see come to MLS next? Who's the next big name you want to see in MLS? If you enjoyed the video, make sure you give it a like down below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit that little bell notification so you never miss a video. Until next time, guys, I will see you all soon.